back to our channel. Ruth here, and in today's video I am excited to share with you 5 business hacks on how to increase your profit if you manage a business. So let's get started. Step number 1. If you want to increase your profit, it's important that you find new leads and you convert them. So the keyword is in finding the new leads, but really you want to get them to buy your products or services. So that's the term conversion. So if you speak to every marketer, they'll say, well, we want to help you convert your leads, which are people who are interested in your business but not yet purchasing from you, into your actual customers. So that's called conversion, so that they spend money on you and they subscribe to you. So some of the marketing examples are, for example, on social media. It could be on, say, Facebook marketing. So it could be Facebook ads, it could be Google ads, Google review, or collecting email lists so that you're emailing your clients and say, hey, today we've got, a promotion of Black Friday sale or 50% off of Thanksgiving sale. So you want to alert them and go, oh, create an excitement, So there's a couple of different ways in which you can do marketing nowadays. The resources out there is so vast, and which channel for your marketing really depends on your products and service. So for example, in the businesses that I run, I tend to actually look at Google reviews because I run a service-based business, and so really when people are looking for a service, they want to know that your customers have actually received the best quality or professional experience, right? So in terms of Google review, I believe that it's so powerful because nowadays when you look at the current generation, especially the younger generations, the millennials, no one really goes to a restaurant or books a hotel unless and until they've actually read the review, because they want to know how other customers are feeling about that business, right? So for example, if you were to choose to go to a restaurant with beautiful steak and there's 5 of them and one of them has got a 5-star review, whereas the other 4 has got a 3-star or 1-star review, and if it's in the same location, guess which one you're more akin to go to? Probably the one with the multiple 5-star reviews, because you think, well, everyone is talking about their food, everyone is saying that the food is the best, so that's where you want to be going. So in the same way, in your business, if you've got happy customers, don't be afraid to actually ask them and say, you know what, we would really value if you wouldn't mind putting in a good word for us, because that's really going to help us out, and that's going to help you boost your presence on Google as well, or any other platform for that matter. But Google reviews is not the only way. There are ways where you can actually spend money. For example, Google Ads actually helps to get the searches up to the first page, but you need to be really careful as to how that's going to work, because if you hire a marketer, make sure you review their work and say, well, how much, if I'm spending this much money on marketing and on you as the marketer, am I going to be able to get the results back? And so there's all these pixels, which is like a this technical word that they use, right? But anyways, they actually track your conversions and see how many leads that particular advertisement has actually gained you. And it depends on the keywords that you're using. You need to be able to use the right keywords. If you've got a marketer, they should be able to know, they should be able to give you a report on a monthly basis as to how it's going, if you're wasting your money, if you're actually converting the right customers. And sometimes it's not perfect because at the end of the day, they talk about algorithm, which is how this computer and the bots work. So sometimes you have to spend money and you might lose some money, but you'll gain some customers and you'll boost your business. And also not just Google, but there's other forms of advertisement on Instagram and Facebook, etc. And again, if you do not understand how to do it, you want to actually get that expert advice from someone who knows about Facebook. For me personally, I actually at one point I had a business where I ran Facebook ads. We did see some success. It wasn't easy because there were keywords that you're not supposed to use. There was policy and guidelines, so you need to actually make sure that you know them, and also that target, who are you targeting? So Facebook is amazing in the sense that it gives you the ability to target your interests and your demographic, whether it's male or female, or ages 20 to 50, which location. So you can actually target people in particular locations. And if you can find this right interest, like if they're interested in this, then they might be interested in your product. You'll begin to see a boost, So I've actually personally been involved in that firsthand, posting different ads and going, oh, this did not make me any money. But once you get that right mix, right, boom, you just see people buying that product over and over again, or that service. So that's one way to actually increase your profit, get new leads, and convert them. The second thing you can do to increase your profit is to think about diversifying. It could be diversifying into a similar product or services, or expand into a different business. Because if you can sell more products or services, guess what? You will increase your overall turnover. Now, not necessarily if you scale, you might not profit at the same time, because you might have to expend money, time, energy in investing into it. But over time, you can actually begin to scale. So the question then becomes, well, if you are to diversify, which product or which service do you diversify into? And also the timing is really, really important, because if you diversify and you grow too big prematurely, then you'll begin to maybe lose focus on your core business. So you need to know and say, well, this is my core business. Am I ready yet to diversify? And if you don't really know that answer, you might need to talk to your mentors about it, or hire a business consultant to come and have a look at your financials and see if it's actually something that you should be doing at that point. But be willing to take risks, calculated risks, because if you diversify, potentially you can increase your profit. Okay, number 3. The third way to increase your profit is to scale. So the word scale means to actually make it bigger. For example, if you have a business in one location, then maybe consider 2 locations. You can double it more, or have more locations. Again, I understand that might depend on your capacity to grow, whether you have the right employees, sufficient funding, etc. So if it's a restaurant and it's doing very, very well in the same branch, and you're booked out every night, right? You might want to actually scale. Maybe it's the same location. You might want to rent the shop next door and offer the owner money and say, hey, do you mind if I rent out your property so that I can expand and have more customers? Or you might want to have like a different branch. So my husband and I, we've gone to this restaurant where we live, and every time we go there, they say we are booked out. We're always booked out, and they have like a 1-hour sitting. And it's really weird, because where we live, there's other restaurants where it's never booked out. You sometimes barely find anyone there. But clearly there is something right this restaurant is doing. And their prices may not be the cheapest, but they have very, very nice quality food. It's always booked out. Now, this restaurant has been operating in our locality for more than 10 years now. And so my husband and I, like, he's a business consultant as well. He's in the marketing sector. We identified this because every time we go, we get turned away. And we were like, well, they could really consider, expanding or maybe renovating that same shop to have a different, like another level, or have a different location. And they could be because most of the meals are pre-cooked. It's like a, grilled chicken dish and all that, like rice. So potentially they could actually pre-cook and deliver it to the other restaurant without affecting its quality. But I'm thinking to myself, well, they're not on Uber Eats. They're not on Menulog, and they are available for takeaway services, but they're always booked out. So that's the other one. If you run a restaurant business, there are some people out there who are complete introverts. I'm actually an introvert myself, even though I'm into public speaking. I've won awards for public speaking and stuff, but naturally I'm an introvert. So if I can order something from home without having to go out, I will. So if you are in a restaurant business and you're not on Uber Eats or Menulog, one of those apps, you're missing out. And I understand that it's not easy because the app is going to take a certain percentage from you. But the thing is, you're losing out on so many potential customers. So my husband and I, whenever we look at this restaurant, we think they could make double the money that they're making, or even more, if only they would ask. Or think about taking that next step, not being afraid to take that risk. So scaling is one of the ways to actually increase your profit. Number 4, reduce spending and cutting costs. My husband always says this. He says, it's not just about how much you make, it's about how much you save. Now that actually makes sense, because you could be making, $1 million a year, but you could be spending, I don't know, $1 million on your staff members, on marketing, and you're not saving any, you're not profiting any. So the question then becomes, is there any way in your business, can you sit with your CEO, or can you sit with your accounting team and work out to say, well, where can we cut the cost? Where can we be a little bit more efficient? If a job requires, say, 10 hours, if you're hiring someone to do the job for 10 hours, can you actually change the system or amend it so that it can become a little bit more effective? Can they do it within 5 hours, so that the other 5 hours they can go in and do another job? Can you implement an app, an app that is that will help you lessen your time, reduce your time, but increase your productivity and your efficiency in running the business? And if you're supplying from this business because you're good friends with them, that's great. But maybe you can start negotiating and say, hey, we're buying a lot more from you and we're your regular customer. Would you mind if we negotiate for a better price so that you can also increase your profit? So it's not just about how much you make, it's about how much you save. Okay. And finally, number 5, how to increase your profit. Perhaps consider increasing new channels to deliver your product. So it could be a new retailer. You might want to ring up, Walmart or different organizations, or a health food store, and say, hey, would you mind stocking our product? Would you mind promoting it? We'll give you a greater cut out of it if you would place our product, right on the counter where people are purchasing, and then they'll be like, oh, maybe we could taste this beautiful, I don't know, chips or something, and say, hey, this is really good. Would you like to have a taste? Would you like to buy a packet? So you can offer them, because you're trying to build a brand, so you can offer them a little bit more incentive for delivering your product. It could be through a website, it could be commission based by collaborating with somebody else and say, hey, if you're in a service business, you can say, hey, you're providing this service, we're not in competition, but we're complementing each other in our service. Would you consider partnering with us? And we will pay you a commission. So again, that's a word of mouth referral, because that's going to give them the incentive as well to help promote your business. Other than that, it could be just through product endorsement, via the different channels. It could be on social media, getting an influencer to promote your product. And again, that depends on the types of products or services that you provide and the budget that you have. So I hope that was helpful. That those are 5 ways you can increase your products as a business. I hope that was helpful, and thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. And last but not least, would you be so kind to hit the like and subscribe button so we can keep you motivated? And you know what, that's going to mean the world to me. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.